Hi, my name is Marco Bruno. I am an architect and I am a faculty at VCU, Virginia University in Qatar, and I'm also the co-founder of Moto Elastico, an architecture and design firm based in Seoul and Doha. VCU is an American university based in Richmond, Virginia, and operating in Qatar under the umbrella of Qatar Foundation. Our program is a design program, so not specifically architecture, and our students are coming from all over the region. In specific, the students that participated in the global studios are coming from Qatar, from Kosovo, Bangladesh, Syria, United States of America, and India. What is resilience? Resilience is the most abused term of the COVID pandemic. To think that we cannot go to eat together with our friends in a restaurant after 6 p.m. make us think that we are enduring a very harsh situation, and this makes us very resilient. Hopefully this is a temporary condition that will finish soon. However, if we look at the life of people in Doha, independently from the pandemic, we can see that a large chunk of the population has to go through very, very harsh conditions every day, no matter what's the pandemic, in order to make a living and build a brighter future for them and for their family. We concentrated on the life of migrant worker. Middle East and Qatar in specific, they experience a very unique demographic situation. Only 12% of the population in Qatar is local, while the rest, the 88%, is done by temporary worker. Sometimes, like myself, sometimes these worker, they remain in the country for generation. In some other cases, they leave after a few years. But no matter what's the condition, they always need a sponsorship to remain in the country. Migrant workers are coming from all over the region and beyond to work in Qatar. They work in different sectors, from service to education to commerce, but most of all, they work in construction. At the moment, Doha is a massive construction site. The main target is the World Cup of 2022, which will take place in November, a little bit more than a year from now, but there is a plan of development that goes all the way to 2030. And this generates a massive amount of investment and a massive amount of architecture and construction work. The people that are moving to Qatar to work in construction site, they are mostly coming from the Indian subcontinent. So from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, but also from Sudan and Kenya and other African countries. The decision to come and work in Qatar is a very big step. They most of the time come alone with very few belongings, and they leave the entire family behind with the hope that one day they will be reunited, and hopefully in Qatar. Once in Doha, the workers conduct a very humble life. They live in the accommodation provided by the construction company, which also provides for their meals. They spend most of the time working in the construction site. They usually have 1 day off per week, and they spend it with their friends or resting. And all the money they make, they send it back to the family to support them. Workers help to build a large infrastructure all over the country. They build airport, roads, harbors, but to the large part of the population, they are invisible. They are just blue suits that they move most of the time together without a specific identity or a specific personality. They often share their accommodation, so they live in rooms with 4 or 6 people in the same room. So they have very little privacy. The only privacy that they have sometimes is the space of their bed, 1 meter by 2 meter. And inside this bed, they carry what is more dear to them. So what reminds them of home and can generate a connection or reminds them of something that they like or they love. And most of the time this space it's very significant because it's the one where they are allowed to express their identity and their personality. With our project, we try to address all the issues related to the lack of identity, visibility, and recognition of the workers. We wanted the urban refuge to be not only a physical space, but also a psychological space where workers feel comfortable, they feel home, even if they are very far from their original home. We started to go around Doha and observe construction sites, especially road constructions, where there are a lot of workers that have to move along a very long distance because of the nature of the construction. What happens is very interesting because by law, every construction company has to build a sort of temporary structure or temporary refuge, where the worker can stay in the shade, can rest if the temperature is too high, they can have fresh water, and of course they need to find a toilet there. These specific constructions are usually made with scaffolding pipe and with fabric that you can find in construction site, usually the fabric that you use to wrap and to secure area or to cover them while the construction is going. We found them very interesting, and we thought that this could be the starting point for the development of our project. What is very interesting about these structures is that they are made with materials that are very easy to assemble and disassemble. So one day you find it on the side of the street, and the following week you find the same structure 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers away. The structure is migrating. And we thought that this is a very interesting metaphor to describe the contribution of the migrant worker to society. We wanted the refuge to become an inclusive space that celebrates the workers' community, but at the same time is open to the entire Doha population. So the strategy for the project became quite clear to us. We decided to design a very modular structure using scaffolding pipe, so an hexagon with a point that could be rotated in different configuration according to the needs, and then find a way to cover the side of the structure with a device that could celebrate the cultural diversity of the worker population. The idea for the skin of the pavilion came while we were studying the conditions of the workers in Doha. Very often the workers are customizing and personalizing their private space, which is most of the time their bed, with items that are coming from their original country. We thought that was a good way to establish an emotional connection with the place that they are coming from, and we wanted to adopt a similar strategy for the skin of the pavilion. As I mentioned before, most of the workers are coming from South Asia, so from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nepal. What is interesting about it is that in this country there is a common technique to build furniture and bed in particular, which are called charpai. In this bed, the frame is made with a very simple wood structure, while the surface is weaved using fabric or rope, and the weaving generates very interesting patterns which very often identify the area or the region where the piece is coming from. So we decided to apply a secondary structure to the scaffolding structure of the refuge, and we wanted each side of the structure to become a charpai. So to become a surface weaved by a specific community or by a specific individual, so that it could represent the contribution of this person or this group of people to the making of the refuge. Of course, the patterns would be very different and very diverse, But we think that this is a richness rather than being a problem. It would represent the diversity of the community, and it would also state that we are not after an aesthetically pleasing object, but rather we are after an object that is able to include and represent all the different contributions. We did a few tests in Doha, and we present our idea to several people that might get involved, and the response was all the time very enthusiastic. People were thrilled by the opportunity of turning something that has no identity into an object that could represent their community. Unfortunately, our project was not selected, but this is not a very bad thing overall. COVID was very harsh to manage. The semester was very difficult to run because of all the restrictions that we had in school, and also was very difficult to go out, find material, make tests, and work on site because resources were limited, and I'm sure was like this for a lot of the participants in this Biennale. Also, we imagine a construction system that was mixed, so part of the weaving would have happened in Doha and then shipped to Seoul and finished on site. So this would have been very, very hard in this condition. So we understand completely that this project remains on paper for now and will have good opportunity in the future to be fabricated somewhere else. However, we are very happy that we work on this project and we develop an idea that I think it's really going to the core of what a refuge should be. So we think an urban refuge should not be only a physical space or a shelter that is protecting you from wind or from rain or from the harsh sun of Doha. But we think that the refuge should be a psychological space that can help you to find your place in society, that can help you to be happy and comfortable within an urban environment. And we hope that this Biennale will help us to see the brighter future that lays in front of all of us. Thank you very much for your time.